Honestly, I don't even know where mine is anymore. These are my issues. Or is it something else entirely? Every time I go live, my phone shuts off. Good evening. Please connect again. At least we can summarize because I wanted to save the stream. It was such a good stream. And mine just shut off, you know? The phone overheated. Okay, now oh, well, indeed, great. I hope we can connect now to you. Do you understand what's going on? I don't know what it is, but this is already the umpteenth stream that shuts off on me. The phone overheats in the middle of the evening, even though it's not hot at all. So look, let me summarize because if I save this, I want people to understand. Look, you need to clearly understand your TV audience because I get the feeling that you don't. What do you think? Do you understand your TV audience? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do know your TV audience.
Well, in general, of course, we've analyzed our TV audience. I'll just repeat again, we're located in a certain district. It's not the city center, not some left bank area. And initially, we set our prices based on the studios that already exist. But actually, there are very few really good studios here. And for us, the goal was to quickly build up a client base through pricing. Because at first there weren't that many perks for the client, but then we started to learn, started to dig deeper, and kept adding more and more. So basically, our service is 10 out of 10, but many clients just don't appreciate it. That's because
You're targeting the wrong people. Look, here's the thing.
to raise, no,
I'll tell you now what you did. There are no mistakes in our lives. There is experience, yes, so there are no mistakes. But what did you do? You went to learn, you did great, you implemented things, you did it, you had a ton of service, everything was good. But now you have two paths. You either stay with the same target audience, keep working with these rates, maybe raise them a little, which is fine, yes, to raise them a bit, or you change your rates drastically for a different target audience, but everything starts from scratch. You start the business from scratch because there are different people and different demands. And I want to tell you, unfortunately, but I have to say it, the most ungrateful segment is the economy segment. They absolutely, truly, and genuinely don't care. They really do not care at all that you meticulously make blankets, or even if you give them some truly incredible and amazing perks. You know, they simply don't care. They just want it to be cheap, very fast, and that is absolutely all. But you see, weren't counting on that. You did all this so that your clients would be grateful. And a grateful client is a solvent client, someone who comes and enjoys every little thing you give them. You see, that's a completely different kind of business. But look at what you did. You didn't make a mistake. Your experience just worked out so that, roughly speaking, you entered the market by undercutting prices, most likely. In other words, you're kind of cool compared to others, but you're cheap. You undercut the prices, people came to you, and now you realize that this isn't what you wanted at all. This isn't what you were aiming for. So now you kind of have a flow of clients, but it's not the money you wanted. Then look, now here's a very important thing. It's hard to even finish off this segment. It's even hard to make a sale to this segment because there's this thing, by the way, for those listening, pay close attention. Any client, whether it's us or someone coming to us, is always ready to spend 30% more. Guess why? Have you ever thought about that?
actually no, because we genuinely don't have a scattered individual price list available. Everything is completely bundled together, so I truly think the person expects a certain specific amount.
Do you know why I'm bringing this up? Well, by the way, you see, that's bad again. You've set some fixed prices, if I understand correctly, and if there's nothing extra to add, it's hard to increase the average ticket. How can you raise the average ticket if there's nothing extra to offer? I mean, if you have, as I understand it, removal, coating, maybe strengthening all for one price, then it's really only super profitable for the economy segment. When we were working, people would come to us and ask, why is removal charged separately? And we would say, why? Yes, it is. They'd say, what, you have to pay extra for strengthening too? And we'd say, yes. These aren't our people. They came to the wrong place. So they won't come back to us, and that's perfectly fine. Look, when we go to buy a bag, let me explain what I mean using a bag as an example. So you go to buy a bag. All right, so I go to buy a bag, and in my head, for example, I'm thinking I'll spend 5,000 rubles on it, right? But then I see some incredible bag and it doesn't cost 5,000 rubles, it costs 6,000. It's unlikely that just because it's 1,000 rubles more expensive, I won't buy it if I have the money. Of course, at that moment, I'm not going to go to Dobry instead. The same thing happens in business. You need to understand that any client is actually ready to spend at least 30% more than what they originally intended to spend. But in your case, you completely closed off that opportunity for him with your pricing because you made it a package deal. Actually, these packages we have also have a fixed price, but it's not really a package. It's an offer that's always limited, you know? So sometimes it's available, sometimes it's not, then it's available again, and then it's gone again. But you did it in such a way that you basically boxed yourself in.
You boxed yourself in.
Honestly, I would just recommend this to you. If I were in your shoes, there are indeed two distinct ways to go about it. You can make good money in the economy segment, but then you have to accept that you're working in the budget market, set your prices lower, and attract people not with a 20% discount, but with a 50% discount. And maybe raise your prices a little. Think about how you could do that. Because the economy segment loves 50% discounts. They need to see something big, something significant. A 20% discount won't work well, so you need to come up with perks for them. When you segment your audience, think about what's important to them. What do they want you to offer? What makes them go to other places? What do they pay attention to? I would simply double down there, or there's a second option. You just go ahead and reprogram your audience, or rather yourself. In other words, you start working with a different audience. Economy and business segments can't work together. So if you're thinking about sitting on two chairs at once, it won't work. It just won't. I feel the same way. You see, they behave completely differently. In fact, they're just different people altogether. These are two entirely different types of people.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that, but we do have some truly really great clients, real sweethearts.
Of course, and that's why I'm saying they do exist, but there won't be a boom. It won't be like you'll be working only with them. You need to make a decision. And that's your right. You know what I would do? I would just digitize things in whatever way is most convenient for you at the moment and work that way. And moreover, of course, I would start using Yandex even more actively, or rather, I would just activate it in general, because in my experience, I have cases where people get 80 clients a month through Yandex.
These are
Real cases. What else do you currently do? Let's perhaps talk for another good 5 minutes. What exactly brings you your primary and most significant traffic?
VK.
VK, that's all?
VK Vita Divagis. In our city, Divagis just works better than Yandex.
Is that your decision? No, that's the traffic.
I decided so.
Have you ever thought that if no one has ever made a splash, you might be the first to do so? Maybe they're doing it wrong. Maybe they're working with the wrong people. There are a lot of great specialists out there.
A clear idea? Let's start next month and connect Yandex. Well,
Look, what else are you doing? VK. Okay, what else? VK.
shall we take it away?
We run an Insta. So what else?
Are we leading? Divagis, we are also leading. There are also photographs that need to be taken, not photographs that need to be changed. Well, through Divagis,
It is the economy segment that comes in. Business does not come through Divagis. Well, mainly, maybe some people will come, but through Divagis. Divagis is a portal for the economy segment in Poland. So basically, to find something quickly, cheaper, and come.
so more topics. And the veto, I already mentioned that we use a veto. So, and for now, I can't think of anything else. Oh, flyers.
How do you hand out flyers? On this occasion,
On the street, in apartment buildings, we put them in mailboxes. So, what?
what is written on them?
There's a discount written there. What kind of discount? It's written in big letters. 40. Meet 1,300. Removal of strengthening as a gift for me.
Is there any kind of deadline?
Can you explain what that is? When?
The time is limited. Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed.
And what happens with it? So he received it. What's the conversion rate from the coupons?
It's small. Yes, people come, but only a few, maybe 5 people a month come. But we don't hand them out on a regular basis. Then we have outdoor advertising. Who
Hands them out? A promoter or you?
we have a guy, basically a promoter.
He just hands them out.
He actually comes in and says, "Come to the nail studio. It's right here, just across the road." He's a really funny guy. He looks a bit quirky. He's just a funny person. Basically,
There's no call to action, like subscribe and so on.
there's only the website on it.
He says, well, go to the website now. I don't know if that's effective or not. His main goal is just to hand out the coupon. I want to understand, does handing them out actually lead to any action? Or are you just handing them out? Or is there something else?
Just handing them out. That's it.
That's why I'm asking, as a recommendation, will your conversion rate increase? If you're handing them out and you have a QR code, I still recommend Instagram because you can't subscribe to a website. So that people subscribe right away. In other words, let him say directly, please subscribe. Do you send welcome messages when people subscribe to your Instagram?
Honestly, when it comes to Instagram, it's really not that great for us. So no.
I get the feeling that you're just not using it properly. Instagram might not seem great if you don't use it the right way. It's a very powerful tool.
Maybe, yes. Maybe it's possible that we're not doing it right.
You see, we've already been talking for about 15 minutes. After we stopped recording, probably less. But I'm already telling you, you're not distributing coupons very correctly. Because to do it properly, you need to capture the lead right away. In other words, you don't just hand them out. When someone subscribes, they enter the funnel because, look, it's a touch point. A coupon is a touch point. So it's just a touch point, nothing more. I throw them away. Well, I admit it. Yes, I throw away coupons. But if I'm made to subscribe, then I'll already be there as a client. And if I subscribe, I'll get a welcome message. Hello. We're thrilled. We're really happy that you subscribed to us. Here's a little coupon for you. Here's your discount. They see it all and think, cool. Of course, there are ways. I talk about this in my training about what's best to write in a welcome message to make it even more engaging. Yes. It was interesting right away. We do this. We've tried different approaches and now our conversion rate has increased. What I'm getting at is, you see, this is the mistake. Then Instagram, you have to manage it properly. If you focus on it, collaborate and get followers. You see, Instagram favors people, business experts who are active on the platform. If it sees that nothing is happening there, it won't promote you. And naturally, nothing will happen there. But from what I see, yours isn't working at all, right? Nothing's happening. And it's like you're not really connecting with it enough to make it work. If you start running your Instagram really well, Instagram is a very powerful platform, especially since you yourself said you're in a small place, right? A small town, so you'll get noticed very quickly because it shows content specifically to the local area. It's not going to show you to people in Moscow. Well, roughly speaking, yes, it will show you locally. That's why I see a huge number of opportunities. We haven't even talked about collabs yet, or partnerships, or bloggers. That's what we use, and it works for us. There are so many untapped tools out there, but none of them will give you great conversion if you don't figure out your target audience. And the best method for you is customer development. Customer development with your current clients, so you can understand exactly who you actually want to work for. Do you want to work with those awesome clients you mentioned, the ones you have just a few of? Or do you want to work with the majority even if they don't really suit you?
We want to work with those who have money.
Well then, get ready. You'll have to change everything. Because if you raise your prices, an increase of 200 to 300 rubles on average doesn't really affect whether people will come or not, because that's not much. But if you decide to raise your prices by 500 or 600 rubles, then some people will drop off. But you need to calculate whether you're ready for that or not, because you'll be changing everything. You'll be changing everything, prices and so on. And in that case, I agree with you. The best client is a grateful client. A grateful client because you put in the effort and you want people to come and genuinely just be thankful that they pay but get great service, quality, and so on in return. And you're doing great. You've already achieved great results and you've already reached an incredible level, really. I don't know how long it took, but going from 40 to 300 is a really impressive result. But right now you're stagnating. You feel like you're stagnating? That's it. What you've done isn't working anymore.
And this
Stage is just not working at all. Are there any other questions?
No, not really. I just wanted to share my opinion about strengthening, about what you said, that it's a separate thing. Yes, go ahead. For example, I don't consider it an extra service. That's just my personal opinion. because, for instance, we don't work with base coats. There are a million reasons why you shouldn't use base coats, and we only work with gel. And if someone suddenly refuses to do strengthening, how could you not do strengthening for them? Gel is a strengthening material after all.
That's your right. I don't agree with you. We don't work the way our client wants. We don't do that. We work our way, period. We work in a way that's convenient for our client. So if the client wants gel, we do gel. If they don't want it, I hate gel. With gel, I always have issues, no matter who does it for me. It's like a plate, like it breaks into shards. I can't explain it. That's how it is on my nails. I don't like it. I've had it done. I don't like how it sits. I love how the base evens out. So I'll go to my favorite salon. If they tell me, we're not going to do the base for you, I'll say, hello, hi, and goodbye. I won't come to you anymore. And I would be a good client. And if they told me that, I wouldn't go there anymore. Because I want them to do what I want. But they did what they wanted to do for me. But I respect the place. I mean, that's the concept. If that's how it is, okay, I won't ask you. So, okay. So look, it's up to you. It's absolutely your choice. But I'm against these packages. Always against them. It's great when they're offered as an extra. I mean, you have everything listed, but you say you can do it as a package. So it's an upsell. So that the person can get everything done at once. With strengthening, or even better, a pedicure too. That's cool. But when you don't have these separate options, you're just closing off opportunities for upselling and increasing the average check. And increasing the average check is directly connected to your revenue. So you're working. You could say this is tied to the number of clients specifically. If you already have, let's say, everything in place, there won't be any more, right? You'll have, say, 20 clients a day, and that's the ceiling. So you'll just be serving the same person over and over again. And sometimes it's not 50 clients, but just one person. Sometimes it's 20 clients, but it's the same person generating the revenue. Because there were specialists who upsold. So here, well, it's your choice. It's your business. But really, this has nothing to do with new clients. Just identify the pain points of your target audience. The pain points of your target audience. Yesterday, and I keep saying this, I was at an amazing conference. And a woman was speaking. She said, do you know what value is? She was interacting with us, the audience. She said, here's a shashlik. And in Armenia, people love shashlik. She said, it costs this much. I don't even know how much. Honestly, I don't eat meat. Well, let's say it's 500 rubles. She said, and here you open restaurants. This shashlik doesn't cost 500 rubles, but 5,000 rubles. What do you think? Will people eat it? Everyone was like, no, no, no. Of course they will. If there is value in that restaurant. Because there are different people there now. A different target audience. People don't come there just for the shashlik. They come to enjoy themselves. For the atmosphere, for the service. And they know exactly where they're coming. But if someone outside the target audience comes just to look around, they'll say, what? Are you out of your mind in the capital? 5,000 for what? I live on 5,000. And they'll leave. Do you understand what I mean? It's not right. That doesn't mean the guys are doing a bad job. They have a lot of expenses. They spend money, yes. They have other things going on there. It's not profitable for them to work for less. That's the decision they've made. But only certain people will come to them. Well, mostly yes. People who understand that 5,000 for shashlik is fine for them. Because that's not what they're coming for. We were talking yesterday. The guys, the speakers were saying they have big businesses. That sometimes it's cheaper to just go have dinner with a wealthy person. Well, for a fee, yes. Basically like a consultation, $10,000. Because this person has so many connections that will just immediately, yes, pay off tenfold. It's the same in business. Look, what do you do? What do you want? If you work in the economy segment, then word of mouth spreads in the economy segment. And then their friends come to you who are also hoping for that same price. And there. You understand, right? So that's it for you. So you have to do this yourself. I mean, you get it. I'm talking to you. I can tell you understand all of this. You just need to make a decision. What do you want to do next? And we have just one question. Now, quickly from the evening. Good evening to you on Instagram. Does the same specialist work or separately? No, we have the same specialist working. I don't know which Instagram exactly you're talking about. If you check the room, we have a new specialist now. I'm very satisfied. He does everything. And I recommend everyone to look for exactly these kinds of people who do absolutely everything because it saves time. When one person does everything, shoots and sends everything themselves so that there's no inconsistency. Was this helpful for you?
Yes, it was really great. And one last question. What do you think about calling clients? So instead of writing to clients, just calling them.
It's awesome. I love phone calls. My administrators still don't like them, but we do call because it's the only effective way to work with the client base. I don't answer for myself. I always take it upon myself. In general, always take responsibility yourself. Really measure everything by yourself. So did you read the messages? I didn't.
I don't like it when people call me. I don't answer phone calls.
We serve thousands of people every month. Out of them, only 10 don't like getting calls. So should I stop calling? And what about the other 980? What about them? They're the ones who bring me money. They bring it in consistently. Look, here's a really great example. I'm currently taking a course. I really liked it. You go to the dentist. What's the difference? I'm just giving you an example, so it's really clear. For everyone who's watching, you go to the dentist, and next you get a tooth pulled or something else. It doesn't matter. But going to the dentist hurts. It's not very pleasant to go. The next day, the nurse calls you and says, Amalia, hello. The doctor is asking how you're feeling. Am I going to be upset?
No.
I'll be happy. I'll be amazed. What kind of service is this? The doctor is asking. He remembers me among so many clients, among so many patients. Do you understand? That's how you need to explain it to yourself, to your people, to those who get it. You don't feel like calling. Maybe you're worried. As long as you do things like everyone else, there will be a result. We have people too. You're really getting on my nerves. What kind of policy is this? Okay, I'm satisfied with my result. Everything is fine with me. When everyone starts telling me in turn that it's bad, and there won't be any result. But we have results. Through calls, we understand the problems better. Even if someone gets upset with us, if we did something wrong, at least I'll find out that my master did a poor job, and we need to work on that. The French manicure was done badly. We need to work on that. How would I know that if I don't call? Not everyone calls. Not everyone complains. Believe me, not everyone calls. And not everyone leaves negative reviews. I don't write them either. I usually just quietly leave, like the English do. You see?
And
Losing just one client, if you follow me with your average bill, even if you take, how much is it? 45,000? How many thousands?
For the first visit? Well,
Yes,
1040.
1,040. There you go. Look, I also hate it when people call, but the call from your salon was actually pleasant. You see? That's all there is to it. Because it also depends on how we talk. If it's just, hello, good afternoon, I have a question for you, well, that's one thing. But if someone speaks in a gentle, pleasant, really nice voice, in other words, a motivated one, that means the person is actually interested. Hello, if you have a couple of minutes, it's very important to us. You visited us a few days ago. You had something done by a certain specialist. Please tell us, is everything all right? How could that possibly be unpleasant?
got it.
And look, 1,040. That's just for the manicure. Just the manicure. But you also have a pedicure. So we're taking the minimum amount. He does other things as well. Sometimes it's not once a month. Sometimes it's once every 3 weeks. But we're taking the average. When you lose just one client, I'm sure you're actually losing more than one, a lot more. Because we all lose clients. And when you don't work with your client base, you lose even more. So you lose 12,480 rubles a year from just one client. From just one. Now, please multiply that by 100 clients. That's for a moment 1,200,000. But if you're willing to lose that much just to avoid making calls, go ahead. Not to call. I'm not willing to lose that much. I did the math, my hair stood on end. Even though we're actually pretty good at getting clients back, I recently calculated how much money we lost from lost clients. I felt sick. I almost cried. Because it's a huge amount of money. And it's not worth it just to avoid making calls, just because maybe someone might not like it. but it's really scary. I won't respond to mailings. It's a very small percentage, and that's kind of normal. It's reasonable. And besides, now we know that in Russia, mailings are a bit risky in general. Cold mailings in particular are risky. I mean, there are fines and so on. So I was really glad to talk to you again. I'm really happy that you have such a great result. If you need me, come out. I also have a lot of interesting things. But by the way, I don't know how the rest is because we're only talking about marketing. But in marketing, I'm talking to you about a lot of cool techniques, incredibly cool, which can be loved. This doesn't mean that if you're in economy class, it won't suit you. No. Literally, just yesterday after the training, I got an idea for client day. So I'm going to test it. There are millions of them, so many. You just need to take them and do it, take them and do it, and keep testing. 100% you'll get results. And you should definitely start working with Barda and think about what to do in the style audience. I was glad to talk to you again. Thank you for your trust. Goodbye. Good night. Goodbye.